see me strolling, they laughing and rolling their eyes, cause I'm so white and nerdy. Just because I'm white and nerdy. Just because I'm white and nerdy.
Today's 12/15 of 2018, and the time 8:50 p.m. 20:50 p.m. Today's subject is going to be on this BK Precision 21.5 megahertz function generator. That's right. Generator. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Howdy. Wasn't planning on doing a video, but I'm at a point where I thought I better do that. I'm in the process of going through all my junk to order parts, so I know what I need. There's all my junk, in case you've not seen it before. So I'm going through to order parts so I can do a future video on each one, or pretty close to each one. I'm not sure if they all warrant a video or not, but they may. So I'm going through my new B&K 4070 Alpha 21.5 megahertz function generator, and a couple of items on, well, not a couple items, one item, the LCD backlighting. Ever since I've owned it, it has not worked. And so I've had to use a flashlight or overhead lamp or something like that to illuminate the screen. And the screen is kind of dark, and it makes it, a challenge to always have to grab some other light source to illuminate the screen so I could see what it is I'm doing. I pulled this out and opened it up so I could figure out what size screen this is. You see, the backlighting for this not available through proper channels. I've gone through B&K in the past and no response, no reply. Well, I got a reply, but it's a discontinued item. Good luck. You're on your own. Even got that also in regards to the service manual on it. So, scouring the internet again, I found absolutely nothing really on this device. I thought about going with a electrostatic something. I forget the name right off the bat, but I'll put it on the screen. So I thought about putting one of those dudes in here and illuminating it this way. When I first tried getting voltage off the pins, I got no reply. Well, I guess basically I got nothing off of it. Trying different voltmeter, this old thing, but it's a voltmeter nonetheless. And I got no reading off of it. Of course, I got two other voltmeters, but I need to fix them as well. I took a break from it, and I came back, probed it, and this time I actually got a reading. And so I'm thinking socket on this here must be wore out or something. I'll have to address that at another time. So I got a 4.88 volt reading out of that, or 4.8 something reading. It's like, oh, okay, how cool is that? So now I know the voltage. So now when I go to find my new backlighting, that's what I have to adhere to. Those electroluminescence, that's the word I was looking for. Backlighting requires 100 volts to run them. So not really going to do me any good, not unless I had the transformer that came with it. And then I was afraid that I would put all kinds of odd noise into the generator, or unless I ran a cable through the chassis, and jerry rigging it just did not sound very appeasing. So trying to find other solutions, very, very challenging. So then the next thing I did was, okay, I got voltage off of that finally. What about illuminating this, or trying to power that up through another source, such as my benchtop power supply? And so I thought, oh, okay, this actually might turn into a repair video. So let me reposition the camera and let me show you what I found. So what I'm going to do here is take a reading off of the LCD lamp socket, and so I got the positive plugged in here. Turn this on. Alright, so now I have voltage, and pay attention to the meter, and I too will do the same. Alright, so now it's making a liar out of me. Alright, so off screen, I think I might have found an issue with this, which means I'm going to have to tear all this out. As you see, if I touch the negative post, I have nothing. Now if I come over here and I touch the negative post of the BNC, as you can see, I get my my 5 volts. However, if I touch the tops of the transistors here, I get 20 volts DC. Come over here to the power supply. And you can see I get my 5 volts. So that is a good thing. So there's my issue right here. So what I'm going to need to do is tear this all out and check this out. See where I'm at with that. Now let me pause for just a moment and hook this up. So as you can see, I definitely have no illumination. Now if I take from my power supply, and white is positive on my little jumper, hook it up, and as you can see, I have a nice lovely display. And I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am to see that thing. Now, remove that out of the way. And earlier when I tested this off camera, this worked. But now that my leg here is not working, my LED is not illuminating. So I have something wrong in this header, or I've got a bad solder joint down here up underneath. The easiest way is I could run a tap from a ground source, and then that would give me my voltage. Make my display illuminate, or just go ahead and tear this whole thing apart and do it right. I think I'm going to tear it apart and do it right, although that's going to be more time consuming. I think the end game will definitely be fantastic. That way I don't have any parasitic issues down the road, especially something like this. I definitely don't want any noise or any arcs or anything like that to happen. So that's what I'm going to do. Got the board pulled out. It was really fast, really easy. I thought I was going to have to pull out the power supply and all that. But all I had to do was remove these two standoffs, and that was it. Done. It slid right out of the case really easy. So here I am on the back side, and this pin right here is the positive side, and that's the negative. You probably can't see it too well in your side, but if you look right here, you can see where it appears that the solder has like a ridge going. With older gear, or gear that's gotten hot over time, the solder will break away, and you need to come in and reflow it. That's kind of what that looks like. And so I need to go get my sponge wet, fire up the the soldering iron. I get them confused, hit that, plug it back in, and see if that hopefully fix the issue. I really do. But if need be, since this is the negative side and this is one big negative pad, I believe all I would have to do is just remove some of the solder mask and make a bigger solder blob over on this side to get a good connection. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. So let me do that and I'll come back and tell you what's happened. Okay, I have the pins flowed and I went ahead and hit a few other spots on the board, but I'd like to show you two spots before we could carry on. If you notice that spot right there where the pointer's at, it definitely does not look factory. So I believe somebody has been in here before, and to show you what kind of detective genius I am to come up with such a deduced theory, let me show you another spot. In case it's not quite obvious, let me point it to you. Right there. I think somebody's gone in here and repaired a trace. But I got to tell you, if they did, I think they're pretty good at that. Because as you see, there are two traces right there together. But that definitely is a raised area. You definitely can feel that. So since I've shown you the back side of the board, let me flip it back over and I'll give you a wide shot of the guts. Alright, YouTube, meet guts. Guts, meet YouTube. There you go. Now you formally have been introduced. Again, this is a B&K Precision 4070 Alpha function generator. And before it was this, it was BNC Nucleus. And before that, it was somebody else. Starts with a T. I'll flash it up on screen. What's that? You want to get closer? Oh, okay. We could do that. Well, this section here plugs into the front panel. The front panel has BNC jumpers on the inside that connects to the ports. These here are the power transistors. The annoying buzzer, I thought about disconnecting it, but I thought, well, maybe I should leave it there just for GP. And then the on-off switch. This has a total of 3 crystals in it. Well, 2 crystals and a crystal oscillator for the VCO section of the device. This header here is for the keyboard, I believe, and then the other one's for the display. Yep, keyboard and LCD. And then the firmware, and this is the CPU, some other snazzy chip. Oh, the UART, because this does have a RS-232, which you can connect to your computer, and in fact that's how you transfer and program this device for the arbitrary form waves that you can do, which you could do some crazy 16,000 million whatever points for your arbitration. And as the rest of the tour happens, it's happening. And if you look right there, center of your screen, I just saw it too. That device has been sanded off. Let's try the wet technique. And that's basically where you lick the device. And it has been properly sanded. I did make out a 1. That's all I was able to make out. This is the DAC. I'm not sure why that would be proprietary, but it is. And behind the power transistors, we got some snazzy heat sinks on some snazzy chips. And then we got a couple of relays. And then to adjust the device back here, And over here, right here we have the VCO. This is a oscillator. That's marked at 50 megahertz. And that's about it. Then we have the power supply, which does appear to be a switching power supply. And that's about it on that. So let me go ahead and, let me show you the faceplate, and then I will bow out and put that back to, we'll test that. And here we have the face, pretty obvious. And here we have the back of the face. The rotary encoder switch is here. I went ahead and sprayed it. Like I said, I wasn't planning on working on this, but I noticed that up underneath the ribbon cable, behind the white legs, right there where the, right here, I know I'm a little out of focus, apologize. That's actually an opening. So I went ahead and took the opportunity to spray the rotary encoder switch, because it was a little annoying. Whenever I went to use it, about every second or third or fourth rotation, it would actually engage and change the command on the display. Did not likey. Something else I don't likey. Do you see that? The buttons and the faceplate is all one piece. So if these ever wore out, you're going to have to, I don't know what you're going to have to do. I could tell you parts for this device are not easy to come by. And then on the back we have our BNC jumpers that we already took a peek at. And then we have our display drivers. And this is our display jumper, keyboard jumper, rotary encoder jumper, and then our lights. So now that the tour is over, let's go ahead and plug this bad boy in and see if what I did helped. And so all we need to do is take a little rag here for insulation. No, this is not ISO approved, but it is better than nothing, although I don't think I'm going to touch. I don't want to take that chance. Alright, here we go, boys and girls. Let me turn this light off. Here we go. Ah, do you see that? Oh, yes. Fantastic. Of course, we're not going to see a display because, well, obviously you saw I haven't put it back together, but fan-freaking-tastic. I'm excited. I finally got a illuminated display. That's all that was solder joint that went goofy. Alright, let me pause. We'll put it back together. We will check it out. Very happy to have this working. I'm in the middle of reassembling this, but I thought I would take just a moment out for those that may have one of these devices, trying to figure out how to open this up. This is really a pain, a challenge to open up. And I'm sure they do that for a reason, for security, to keep you out of there, for serviceability, whatever. It's really a pain. Now, you've probably seen modern day B&K devices with the blue ring around its face. And you need to pull that off in order to open it up. And you just basically peel it back and it'll pop open. As you can see, it's got these little grabby things in here which correspond to the hole. Good thing, bad thing, I don't like it. I don't think it's a good design, because what ends up happening is, one, this is rubber and it's going to get hard, it's going to break, just even if you take good care of it. You know, age alone is going to get to it. And if you don't handle it very well, it's going to break. Now, this came this way to me when I got it. Didn't necessarily see it in the photos, but I would try to glue it back together. But again, it's rubber. Not sure how good it would look, how good it would handle. So I just leave it alone. I know in time this will completely fall apart. And when it does, you're going to have something that looks a little hideous as such. So, getting back onto what I wanted to address, once you get this pulled off, you flip it on its back. Then you have 4 screws that you need to remove. These ones in the rear are rather easy. It's the one in the front that are a little difficult. Now, the book, the owner's manual, does not tell you how to do this. Service manual may very well. However, good luck at trying to find a service manual. And at this point, I've not had great luck with B&K to part with one. So I have another request in. Hopefully that will happen. So what you got to do is you push the handle open like that. Get this goofy thing up. Once that's up, these knobs actually have white caps on the end that I apparently misplaced because I'm not seeing. Oh, here we go. You pull these white caps off. They just slide on. Oh, guess I could have did that on a side that you could see. Anyway, you just slide them on, slide them off. Once that happens, as you can see, this protrudes out of the side here. And you've pulled the cap off, you got the arm up, and then you just grab this and you push it as far as it'll go. Once that happens, then you could take these big massive screws out. Your screwdriver will hit the plastic because these are a standard P2 screw. And they travel forever and ever and ever. But as you see, the screw does hit the plastic. And your screwdriver will also hit the plastic. I'm sure it's not a big deal because you're not going to do this often. And there you go. That's how that is done. And then you put it back together the same way. So as I'm sitting here putting this thing back together, it dawned on me, I forgot to mention what happens once you remove the screws. It's pretty simple. You just flip it over on the bottom side, and then you could peel the top cap off. Now it's got these little ribs right here. These ribs separate. They sandwich in between the top and the bottom. And so it's the top that comes off, not the bottom. And so now that I've got it assembled, plop that down, and you take these caps, and then you muscle this thing around like there's no tomorrow. And that's it, done. Put that where you want. And put your rubber on. This rubber is kind of gross, I agree. In fact, it wasn't until just here recently I cleaned it up, removed the stickers off the face. Just hadn't had a lot of time. And I got tired of messing with the stickers, so I cleaned those off. The rest of the body is kind of filthy as well, so before I put this back on the shelf, I will clean it and try to remove off any and all markings. So there you go. I guess I could always take some adhesive or something, tape, and hold that together if I had a mind. And then the last thing you got to do is button, who's got the button? Okay, very good. Very good. You can see how dirty it still is. So let me take this opportunity that since I got it out of the hole, clean it. I'll put it back and then we'll fire it up, see if it'll display, and then we'll also stick it on the frequency counter. I guess I might as well round out the view on this. On the back here we got a whole bunch more gunk. We got power supply. Here's our RS-232 port. Bumped you in a little closer here so you can see. So our mains, RS-232, and all of our stuff here on the back. Our external reference, so we could put our 10 meg or whatever we need to put on there. Our external reference, so this is how I'm going to tune up all my other stuff with this device. And all the other stuff that you can see. This has actually got an external modulation and power volt measure input. I've not played with that, and I'm looking very much forward to that. So that will be kind of cool. Anyway, I'll move my big fat finger out of the way and let you read the rest. Okay, I got it all cleaned up, put back in line. It looks really good. It will probably need another cleaning or two, and in about 30 years I'll ensure that that happens. So I got the frequency counter fired up. It's been running now for a good 15 minutes or thereabouts, so the heater in there should be nice, toasty warm. Have a jumper cable, 50 ohm cable hooked up to it. And so this is the moment, I don't know about you, but I have been waiting for. Let's see if I fixed it or I didn't. Here we go. Super duper cool. Fantastic. I did not break that. That is awesome. Hopefully you could see it, but we are at 1000 kilohertz there. Actually, that should be a meg. Yeah, we're at 1 meg there, and we're at negative 10 dB. And you can definitely see that that is what we're getting. Let me hit 0.4 seconds and 4 seconds. So we're doing pretty good there. Let's go to 1 hertz. Oops. Oh, that only goes to 10 hertz. So let me go to 10 hertz. I think it'll go lower if I was to increase the voltage. Which I think I'm going to have to. So let's go to 50 millivolts peak to peak, which is 25 millivolts average. Of course, I'd have to get the specs out on this to see exactly what it's looking for at this low voltage. But I would almost think that this should have did it. Let me bump this up to 500 millivolts. So it looks like on this frequency counter, oh, there we go. We got it. I just needed to increase the voltage. Super duper duper cool. It is very nice to have a display that I could actually see. So now let me bump this up to 21.5 megahertz. And I need to change that. And there we go. Very, very nice. Well, cleaning the rotary switch. Did not do anything. Which sucks. And yes, you are reading that correctly. This device does go that low. Okay, well, this will conclude this impromptu repair. I'm very happy that that happened, that I was able to resolve this issue. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this video has helped you out. If you have a device as such or an issue with your device, yours is just as easy as to repair as that. Thanks for watching. A pleasure, I'm sure. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. All right, kill it.